Well, this is gonna be my my playthrough of my game Containment, which is my gameplay prototyping for my gameplay prototyping class. Um, as you can see in the top left, it does say lighting needs to be rebuilt. This is running on a slightly older version of essentially what I already have done. So it's fixed in the newer one. I also apologize for any background noise that you might hear, or my dog, or anything like that. I have quite a noisy household, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll do my best to just talk through only what I need to talk through. As you can see here, we have quit, controls, and start. So control or quit will take you out of the game. If you hit controls, you can see all of the PC controls on the left and all of the gamepad controls on the right. If anyone ever forgets what they have to do, there is, well, they can press pause or the pause button on an Xbox controller while they're in game to essentially show them this. You've also got start, which will bring us into our tutorial. Now, I will admit there's a very weird bug that I can't fix. I don't have enough time to fix anymore, which is when you spawn in, you're not looking properly. You actually have to press right click, or in the case of the Xbox controller, I believe is right trigger or left trigger, sorry, and it'll basically fix the camera. It's probably some weird spaghetti code that I have in there somewhere, but it's nothing game breaking really. As you see bottom left, we have our health, our stamina, our ammo, and our mags, and then up in the top right we have current objective. But when I walk through this door, another thing, anything that's interactable within this game will have F/B interact on it, which stands for F on the keyboard and B on the Xbox controller. This will allow you to interact with the doors, guns, cover, things like that. So if I open this door and then
Welcome to the tutorial area.
There you go.
If you could
Voice
start,
line.
press P on a keyboard or press the pause button on a controller to bring up the pause menu. Then go to controls to look at all of the controls for the game. Make sure to use every gun in this tutorial so that you know which ones you would like for your missions. Also, whenever you feel like you've completed the tutorial, feel free to walk through the door in front of you. Don't worry, the AI can't actually hurt you, but the barrels can.
So what I've done here is I have found a bunch of different pickups, and well, I haven't found them, I've placed them there. So these are the guns within the game. You have, that's just a little sprint. You have the AKS-74U, you have an Uzi, you have an AK-47, an M4, and a Val. All of these different weapons have their own ammo, their own amount of mags, and it will change depending on which one I have equipped. So for example, the AK-74U is 30 rounds in its mag, it has 3 mags, and the Val has 16 rounds and it only has 2 mags. As I said, this will change for every weapon. I'm just going to pick up, hopefully this M4. Sometimes the collision could be a bit weird with these being so close, but I changed that in the newer ones, so that's good. They also have different fire modes. There is a bit of a weird bug where let's see, so essentially this is the Val one shot. It also has some recoil when you're shooting upwards. All of the guns have recoil as well. So yes, that's when you're shooting single fire. You press B on the keyboard, you'll hear that, there's a little click, and then you won't be able to shoot, essentially. And the reason you won't be able to shoot is because there is a burst fire setting that only the M4 can use, and that isn't there. Well, I guess I could have shot the barrels. Essentially, you just have to press B until you start shooting again. It is on like the first click, that's single fire, second is burst, and third is fully automatic. So we're back on single fire again. Barrels.
Enemy down.
You can kill enemies. Bullets do travel through enemies. That's another thing. And these enemies are shooting me, but they're dealing 0 damage just because I wanted to have them set up to show us off. Enemies will also drop health and mags, more so mags it seems, or maybe I just got very lucky that time. Barrels will also take out enemies when they explode, which is pretty cool. I don't know if there's anything else I can show you here. All of the weapons, if I show you now, have their own sounds, as you can see. Which is relatively easy to do, but it's pretty cool. And one of my most exciting things really is the fact that I can come up to this. It'll say F/B interact, and I can take cover. I can walk left and right. The hitbox is meant to go up to this part here, so just pretend like you didn't see this part. You can go left and right. You can peek above. You can shoot enemies. You can peek back down. And you can either press B or F to get out of it, or if you hold in S, you'll just come out of it. And that's pretty much all I can show you in the tutorial. I can show you picking up the mags. So as you can see, for our AK we have 8 mags. For our M4 we have 2 mags. So depending on what gun you have equipped, it will basically give that gun a mag. And if I was getting damaged, I'd be able to pick up these health kits. I believe they heal for 25, and the player itself has 150 health. So we just open this door, and bang, now we are in the first level. So this can be pretty tough.
Welcome to level 1. Your aim for this level is to get to the bridge between the 2 towers. Make sure to keep an eye out for weapons that have been hidden around the map. Not all enemies are the same. Some of them have different health, some of them deal different damage. Some of them even run at you with grenades. Good luck.
There you go, another one of my amazing voice lines. I should really be a voice actor. This is pretty much it as well. You spawn in this little room, you get your objective, reach the bridge between the 2 towers, open this door. I've picked up my gun from here. If I need to come back here to get some health, I can. And now right into the open. So for example, here's an enemy. Something I've done to... Also, this barrel will blow me up 110%. I just don't want to do it because I want to get through this as quickly as possible. Something I've done is I've set the other guns around each map. Essentially so that they can be picked up by the player. There you go, I've just been healed. That's the little healing sound. As you can see, there's some grass, there's an M4 here. Now, the cool thing that I've done is that the way the weapons are set up, each weapon will do more damage. So here's the Val. This is my favorite one because it does the most damage. So for example, I believe the Val does 50 a hit, maybe? Yeah, it does. It deals 50 a hit. Also, that weird like eating noise you almost heard there, that was the ammo with the mag pickup. I can also sit here. I can shoot at the snipers up here. I can actually shoot that barrel, maybe? Kill him. I've run out of ammo, I think. Generally speaking, everything works. I'm having like very few actual major bugs.
What have we done?
There's this little silly one where they'll slide towards you. That's about it. Here's the AK. So that's my reward to the player, and something I took from the original brief was that I did want it to be like when you spawn in, you have a gun room, and you choose guns that you want to bring out and use on the mission. I've adapted that so that you have guns scattered throughout the map that you can pick up and use. Before I go up there, I'll actually show you this. These should be, yep, these all act as cover. Which you can, if you were stuck, you could take cover here. I'm just going to kill
What have we done?
Take cover here, shoot up at the snipers. Because those snipers up there actually deal more damage. So for example, I think a normal enemy does 25. I have an enemy that does 10. I have a sniper that does 35, and then there's a mini boss that does 30 but has 400 health compared to snipers have 50 health, and bog standard AI have about 100. So I do have a decent bit of variety in terms of AI. I believe there's 4 different ones, 5 maybe, if you include the one that doesn't shoot. But something I wish I could have got done was actually making them able to shoot differently. So maybe like a shotgun, so like it has multiple projectiles coming out at different directions. But we'll live and let learn.
What are we doing?
He's down. And then once we get to the middle of this bridge, we can have a little look around beforehand anyway. I like this block out quite a lot. I know it's pretty square in certain places, and I understand that that's not necessarily great, but for the original map, it was pretty fun to make. And then once we get to this bridge, we're teleported to level 2. Level 2, as Christopher likes to call it, is the acid trip level, because everything's just bright colors. Well,
Welcome to level 2. Your goal is to reach the end of the trail and to fight the mini-boss. Then there'll be a door for you to go through. Good luck, but watch out for grenades and very strong bullets and enemies that have more health than usual.
Lovely, there we go, another voice line. Generally for this level, we have to reach the end of the trail to fight the mini-boss who's up in that big building up there. I had to actually enclose him in that building because the nav mesh was letting him out and he was running amok, and you would just randomly pop into him because most of the enemies look the same. Although they do have different weapons, I believe. So for example, one might have an AK, one might have a Valve or something like that to show like that it is a different enemy. I tried changing the colors, but it was a whole thing where they all just turned green. I also added a tiny little bit of parkour here. So for example, if my animations would play nicely, I can jump between. Oh, I died, but I just get reset to over here. That works for level 1 as well. So for example, if I was to lie on level 1, I would just get the level itself would just reload, and it would reset. So once I walk up here, I'm going to get the voice line again. I'm just going to talk over it because you don't need to hear
then
past
there'll be a
me
door for you to go
times.
Good luck, but
I had this
watch
very
out
simple
for
parkour just
grenades,
because I thought it'd add a little bit of
very
extra to the
strong
game.
bullets and
You know what I mean?
enemies
Instead of
that
just
have
walking
more
everywhere,
health than usual.
there's a little bit of a weird parkour to do. It is quite tricky, honestly. I've also stashed a very nice Val here that I don't think you can. If you come up this, like if you're coming off, yeah, you wouldn't really see it.
What are we doing?
Oh, okay, this is another enemy. So there's certain enemies. I know I'm talking really fast as well. I apologize for that. There's other enemies in this game called bombers. Generally speaking, they can't shoot you, but they will run at you and explode, and that will deal like 50 damage, I believe. So this isn't one because he's shooting at me.
What are we doing?
There's another little gun stashed over there. See, this guy's a bomber. How I can tell is because he's got an M4 and
What are we doing?
he shot me. What? Okay, some of them are bombers. I just don't know what they look like currently. There we go, got some health.
What are we doing?
But you saw it a second ago when I was coming up here. There was a guy that basically exploded into a bazillion different sparks.
What are we doing?
There we go.
What are we doing?
Let's take these enemies out. Oh, I'm out of ammo. I'll just take some cover. Apparently not.
What are we doing?
Another gun here to pick up that we can switch over to. The barrel I could blow myself up with. Huh. Okay, so what's happened here is I've put these down and not assigned. My cover works where it's essentially just an invisible collision box that I have put over things. I haven't actually assigned it to these. So if you're playing the game and wondering why you can't hide behind them, that's why. It's me being silly. If I have enough time, I will add them back, but I want to sort of focus on my blog and everything at the moment. Open our door. And there's a big boss. So this boss will deal 35 damage, and as you can see, he's taking a lot more hits than your average enemy.
What are we doing?
And now you also hit, if you come over here, there's a bunch. These barrels don't explode, but there was a purple one there. If you could get the enemy to come over here, you could blow them up with the barrels. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a whole bunch of code that I don't really talk about that's went into actually making a lot of these mechanics. For example, the sprinting mechanic has a lot to it. It also has a pretty cool animation. I didn't even bother to show this off. I quite like this. It was a pain to try and get it to actually work. You have your reload animations. You have recoil. It's very basic recoil, I'll give you that. Yeah, honestly, the overall consensus I have of this is that when it comes to the actual brief that I was meant to stick to, I very loosely stuck to it. So, for example, my head canon is that the enemies in this game are the Russians from the brief. Obviously, I wasn't able to add dinosaurs in because scope. And the main reason I changed my game so much from my brief was simply the scope of the brief, like the brief scope. Is that what I would call it? I honestly don't know. The GDD, the scope of the GDD was absolutely massive, and it involved a lot of pixel art and things that I hadn't really done before. And there was literally no chance I would have gotten anywhere near the amount of work done that would have been needed to make it good. Or at least that's what I thought. Obviously, I'm taking into consideration the fact that I also work a 30-hour week job outside of uni, so I have very strict time constraints as to how long I can work on a game. And in general, I'm very aware of that. So when I'm making decisions like that, specifically with this game, I know it's very important to stick to briefs, and I have done in the past. There's proof in the pudding. I worked on a game called Herd on the Hill that had a very, very concise GDD that we stuck to very well. But just for this game, in terms of my time limit and how much time I was able to spend on it between work and mental health and just generally wanting to do Unreal, I did not see the time, nor did I see the passion that I would have needed to actually make that brief come to life in a way that I would have seen suitable. So I did my best, taking things from the brief and adding them into this game and making this game somewhat of that brief. Third person character, I chose that because I thought it would look really nice. Specifically, the main reason I chose it is because I can do this. I think that coming from a camera from behind into a close-up like this is just a really cool mechanic, and I love it in video games. As well as just adding in all the weapons and stuff, that was part of the brief. Having a variety of weapons, having them deal different amounts of damage, then working a specific way, having the loot room that I had, I guess, in the tutorial. That idea is originally from the brief. I just decided not to do it because I thought it would be more fun if the player could run around the map and actually, grab weapons as they go along. But I digress anyway. I've literally sat and talked about this long enough. I just wanted you to I want you to understand that I know that I didn't necessarily, or it's not even that I didn't necessarily stick to the brief. I didn't stick to the brief as much as I should have. And, well, I got this out of it, so. So once you come to this door, you press F or B, and then that's you. It'll bring you right back to the main menu, and that is the game in its current state. I also really like this main menu background screen. I had to go back to one of Brian's older tutorials to get it to work because I was using a spawn actor the wrong way. I needed to basically have a pawn on it, and I didn't realize that. But I really hope that you've enjoyed watching this, and I hope it's sort of shown you. Oh my goodness, okay, wait, I forgot one thing. Another thing is,
Welcome to the tutorial area.
Oh, don't listen to him.
Stuck, press
If you
Q
have
on
a gun,
keyboard or press the pause button on a
okay, I'll just
controller
wait from the
to
end.
bring up the pause menu.
This is actually really big mechanic. I don't know how I almost forgot about it.
Make sure to use every gun in this tutorial so that you know which ones you would like to
Come on.
missions. Also,
Come on.
whenever you feel like you've completed
on.
the tutorial, feel free to walk through the door in front of you.
Yep.
Don't worry.
Yep,
The
keep
AI
talking.
can't actually hurt you.
Yep.
But the barrels can.
Yep. Okay, it's done. Okay, so if you have a gun, as well as this is also, all of these controls work on Xbox. So if you're aiming in with a gun and you press G on keyboard, or if you press, I think it's R, or not R1, sorry, right bumper on Xbox, you can throw a grenade. The grenade is a giant apple, I know, but the reason for that is simply because none of my other models had physics on them, so they just kept falling through the earth, whereas this one will roll about on the ground, and it can actually bounce as well, I believe. It will, or at least it should, kill the enemies. And to fix like spamming it, I've done it so that you can only, yeah, there you go, kill them. You can only do it every 10 seconds. So you can respawn a grenade every 10 seconds or throw a grenade every 10 seconds.
Enemy down.
And yeah, that was another mechanic that I thought was pretty cool, and added to the game, as well as it also helped me make the explosive enemies that you do see on level 2, but we just didn't see any this time because I probably killed them too fast. And that's pretty much it. Sorry that I almost forgot about a very important mechanic being the grenade. I hope you watched this long to actually see that the grenade's in the game, in case you didn't see it in the controller, or in the controls, sorry. Yeah, thanks for all the teaching this year. I've learned a lot, and I very much so appreciate it. You've all been, every single lecturer that I've talked to has been top class, and the course is looking very, very bright, and the future of the course is looking very, very bright, and in general, just everyone's been lovely. That is the best compliment that I can give, is that everyone's been absolutely lovely and fantastic and very good, and also the way everybody teaches is very easy to learn from also. But enough of that. I don't know how to end this. Oh, that's it. Goodbye.